Welcome back to Kinsugi's classroom. Every time I come, I feel like, I'm coming after a long time. Okay. But then that's not the case. I think I'm posting regularly, if not every day. Of course, posting every day is not my target also. Alright. So today I'm coming with, again, another topic of 9th standard NCERT, a lesson there, the little girl. Alright. As I say, I will talk about the obvious and what it really means to me. When I say what does it really say, it means what does it really tell me. Okay, it's always like as I keep telling again and again, I am a learner. I learn from everything. Especially literature speaks to me a lot. Okay, so what did I get? What message did I get from the little girl? Alright, so I may not be a little girl now, but that little girl represents every one of us, despite our age, despite our gender. If the little girl is a representation of every human person. And what is it that fills us with fear? The question that I am going to answer is, what is fear and why do we fear? Okay, why that fear? The message that I got from is, the word fear and what will help us get rid of fear. Okay, so like the obvious, I don't want to skip the obvious meaning that it has. So what I have put as obvious is like, Kezia makes a comparison between two dads. Like we keep saying, when there is a comparison made by parents, we say, no, you should never compare. Everybody is unique, uniquely different. Comparison destroys the uniqueness of a person. It destroys the morale of a person. It is when it is related to kids, we keep telling this and it is true. Okay. Now the same applies to Kezia too. Okay, it applies to parents also. Whatever is applied to kids, it's applied for everybody. We cannot make comparisons with parents or between parents. So Kezia makes the common mistake which every one of us makes, somewhere we do compare ourselves to someone else. And we always compare ourselves with or others with things that we think is good. It's always the comparison is a very, very subjective thing. Comparison is a very, very subjective thing because it compares with what I think is good in the other. It is not objective at all. Like our generation, when we grew up, we always were told that, IQ is the best. Those who have good IQ are the best. They are intelligent. You understand the difference between IQ and EQ, right? So there was never a talk about EQ. Our generation, we did not know about EQ. Nobody bothered about EQ. Nobody bothered about your creative skills, your language skills. Nobody. If you are good at science and maths, you are intelligent. You're considered as smart. So we grew up with that attitude. So even if we were so good with our language and things, we never felt confident about ourselves. Okay? And I am so happy that generational shift there's a paradigm shift in education and in everything, that we are able to see everything in a holistic manner, a holistic outlook, that your right brain is equally important as your left brain is, as your logical brain is, that itself is a very holistic thing. That's the only thing I think I appreciate about the shift that education has taken. Alright, and so comparison of any sort is destructive because each one is uniquely gifted. So when you compare the other person with something that they are not good at, maybe they are not meant to be good at that. It's as simple as that. They are not meant to be good at that. Alright? And then there is a talk about, she doesn't misunderstand her father. It's rather, she understands him less. Okay? So this less understanding comes because of already there is a prejudice, there is a comparison made, and in that comparison her father has The other, Mr. McDonald has gone down, this one. He has weighed better than her father. Therefore, she understands him less. Okay, so I am saying this from the child's perspective. I am not justifying the behavior of Kezia's father. Maybe there are a lot of things that Kezia's father could work on himself. Okay, so every parent has to work on, every child has to work on, every individual has to work on. This is not a parent-child issue. It is like every issue every person has to handle. Okay, we need to work on it. Now this is the obvious one. That this is one tug of war we always have. A comparison between people, and because of that there is already a preconceived idea, so we see people from that perspective and they always fall short. This is obvious meaning that I get from the story. And then it's a call for us to be open, to see things holistically, which will help us to understand and accept people better. So this is one. The other one that is hidden, that is not obvious is, what does it really say? So Kezia, the basic, emotion that she goes through is fear. She's frightened of her father. Because of her fear, she distances herself from her father. Right? Her grandmother tries to, bring them closer. But somehow it is not it is like she brings them closer. But then it doesn't really work. Because she already has a preconceived idea about her father. In a comparison, he has fallen short. Right? So, but then there is one point, there's only one sentence. Actually, it is not a big deal. But a small sentence was that what touched me. Like, she uses his important paper for stitching the cushions. Right? The pin cushion she makes with his important paper, which of course triggers him and he gives her one, and that makes her fear him more. So in that act, there is a small element of irresponsibility hidden there, right? And a small fault of her, whether it is consciously made or unconsciously made, a fault is a fault. There was a tinge of irresponsibility hidden in that action, which she could have been a little more careful. Kezia could have been a little more careful, okay, which she wasn't. And that caused all that traumatic experience for her. So fear was triggered from a small act of, irresponsibility, I would call it, not even as a mistake, a small act of mistake. Alright? Now this could have been resolved if she had asked sorry, and maybe she could learn a lesson from it, that next time she wouldn't do something of that kind. Yeah, it is always there. But basically fear, when I take fear, this is what we fear. Somewhere fear is triggered from a mistake that we make and we don't own it up. When we don't own up our mistake, we fear the other person who is pointing it out to us. Okay, it's very logical. So, what is the solution there? This is like, this has happened multiple times. We keep doing it repeatedly. Like when I make a mistake, I try to hide it. I say it is fear. I go lie. I say lies about it. Like I score less marks, I don't tell my parents. If then my parents ask me, did you get your marks? We say no. We are hiding it. We don't, and then sometimes we even try to do something else to hide it. We break something, we hide it somewhere. We try to hide our mistake. We don't own it up. We don't say, yeah, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I'll not repeat it again. So if you were to do that, there will be less fear. But when you hide it, there is the lurking fear all the time working in your conscience. So the question here, or the solution to fear, is integrity. I stated, I have put it in quotes. It's not like someone has said it that I have put it. I want to emphasize it, so I have put them in quotes. If you don't do anything wrong, you won't fear anybody. Now when I say wrong, I don't mean the mistakes you make, but I mean mistakes are very common. Nobody is here who has not made a mistake. So mistake, I wouldn't call it as wrong. What I call it as wrong is the effort you make to hide it, conceal it from others, the effort you make not to own it up. the effort you make to distance yourself from the mistake instead of learning from it. That is what is wrong. So when I say integrity is, if you don't do anything wrong, you won't fear anybody. If you own up your mistake, at the most what would you get? Maybe like Kezia got one on the hand, or physical pain, how long will you remember? Maybe scolded by your parents or by the elders. What are you losing by that? You're not losing anything. But when you hide it, when you don't own it up, then you are losing your inner peace. You are cultivating a habit that is going to be always putting you on the edge. So this, when I say you, I don't mean you. I mean, I'm talking, it's almost like a self-talk. I'm telling myself. So integrity is a solution here. Integrity is a solution to fear. When you have this integrity, that I made a mistake, I own it up, and I take charge of the mistake, I learn from it, I proceed. I don't have to fear anybody. It's like taking the bull by its horn. You do it, then you are the master of your life. But if you don't do it, then people will you are giving the bull into the other hands, and they can do anything with it. People can do anything with your mistake. And if you hand over your mistake to a narcissistic person, that's end of it. I suppose you don't understand all this. It's like it's not only for you, it's for everybody. So take care of yourself, own up your mistakes, and be fearless. Alright? Thank you. If you like this message, kindly comment on it, and of course like and share it. I still need a lot of subscribers. If you have forgotten to press the subscriber button, that red thing, please subscribe and keep watching and be a learner like me.